we are going to start this week the way we do every week with what's turning us on this week. Nate, how are those sour grapes? Are you still able to get turned on, or are you too upset?
Listen, mister, you're next. All right.
I got knocked out in the very first round by a huge margin, so I'm not even going to pretend to have a dog in this fight. But I am curious what's got you up this week.
Well, I was talking to. I'm gonna sub in an anecdote about my work for like the third time in a row. But hey, you brought up pink hard hat, so I feel like it plays.
Sure.
But, I was talking to my apprentice today and telling him what we were talking about on tonight's show, which is what it's like to be a trans person in everyday life.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me, he's like, "That's really funny you say that because I had a proud dad moment the other day." And I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, what happened?" And he said, one of his daughter's friends has recently come out as trans and was misgendered by the teacher. This has happened a couple of times. They're in first year high school, I think he said. And so, yeah, the teacher misgenders his kid's friend, and his daughter spoke up and said, "Excuse me, Mr. So-and-so. No, you're using the wrong pronoun." Like right in the middle of class, like interrupted class to be like, no, wrong pronoun, get it right. And apparently the teacher apologized and has been using the correct pronoun since. So I was like, wow, that is really cool.
Yeah. All right. I mean, I hate to stereotype, but like not only is that happening, but then that story is getting shared on a job site. I mean, that kind of thing, that gets me excited. That kind of change in the world is something that I can get a little turned on by.
Yeah, I thought that was really cool. I'm like, wow, like the courage your daughter must have to actually do that in high school.
Yeah, geez.
Right? Because like high school is a pretty tough time for a lot of people. So I was like, hey man, you should be proud of yourself. That's awesome.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, Phoebe, not your first time on the show, but first time doing this with me. Super excited to have you here. Really looking forward to kind of getting into it and I guess maybe even trading stories as sort of folks boots on the ground working in mental health. But for now, what's got you turned on this week?
Well, last week I had a wonderful journey all the way to America because that's where my wonderful fiance lives. I'm in a long distance relationship with a wonderful trans woman that is my fiance, and it was wonderful to just relax and spend the week with her. And for all those people out there that say that you can't have meaningful relationships because you're trans or trans people will be alone, it's a load of nonsense. It's a load of rubbish. I have a wonderful fiance who I'd go to the end of the earth for, and I know she'd go to the end of the earth for me. And we're two trans women happily and madly engaged and wildly in love together. And it was just a wonderful week that I spent with her in America. And before anyone asks, no, I did not get COVID from the USA when I was there. And I had 2 PCR tests to prove it.
Yeah. I should maybe acknowledge that with our 2 international guests tonight that it's not a great situation here in the States, but I appreciate everybody who is hunkering down, who is staying safe, and who is online with us looking for a little escapism. I don't always jump into the what's turning us on this week discussion, but I promise the audience, after y'all offered so many like wholesome and lovely examples, that we needed something a little bit nasty. And I think I found that for you with the film Titanium. Titanium is a French body horror film by Julia Ducournau, who directed the film Raw, which I also really recommend. Titanium, or Titane in Francais, won the Palme d'Or. That's the first time that a woman has ever won that award solo. And I have to tell y'all, this movie has everything. A woman having sex with a car, aggressively androgynous hypersexuality, and just so much blood and or oil. You have to watch the film. It's absolutely incredible. I should give a huge content warning in recommending this film. It's very much a body horror picture that dives into themes of gender and puberty and pregnancy and is is frankly really challenging to watch. So if ace bandage binding or pregnancy complications are triggering to you, I would recommend you stay far away from this. But if you're looking for something really provocative and maybe a little bit challenging around issues of gender, I strongly recommend that you check out a film that is up for the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Picture this year, or is likely to be, and that is Titanium out of France. Beautiful, beautiful film.
Well, you've sold me. Is it actually like in French and subtitled?
Yes, yeah, it's a French language movie. I
Okay.
think a lot of our audience has likely seen the movie Raw, which was the previous entry by this director, which is also very challenging. I'm not a big horror movie guy. I love film, and we could probably do another show entirely about movies, and I would just gush all day about this one in particular. But I felt like this was a great option for our audience because it really does kind of poke at and prod some of the themes that we talk about on this show, and it's just a lot. It is it's a full night. So I'm going to recommend that folks check that out.